Hi folks, thanks for tuning in. Well, I've just been out on Donkey here on a test ride. I've recently just stripped all the rear suspension down and had a good overhaul. It's done just over 26,000 kilometers, nearly 26 and a half. Now it's had a bit of a beating, this donkey has. Anyway, I thought I'd just check it out. So I've stripped it down, I've made a video step by step how I did it, problems I found, things I had to replace. Yeah, so as you can see from some of the video coming up, this is the bit I've just been riding over to test it. And I'm pleased to say, when I put it all back together, there were no parts left, and it all seems to work. So that's a good thing, isn't it? Remember, before you start work on grease and oils and anything that can damage your skin and get into your internal organs through absorption, then protect your hands. I use a barrier cream rather than gloves. Personal choice. So next I'm going to be taking the rear swing arm off for the purpose of checking the bearings inside all the linkages, which I greased at 10,000 kilometers. I should have done it when it was new, but now I've got the rear wheel off and I've just changed the chain and sprockets. In the process of doing that, I thought I may as well get in there again and have a look and make sure they're okay and re-grease if necessary. So first of all, I'm going to take this splash guard off just to get it out of the way. And be careful when you put this back on, because there's only self-tapping screws into plastic. And then I'm going to remove the brake connections here and hang the brake up on the side of the bike there, get it out of the way. Next, it's a case of taking all these linkages out one at a time. Before we start, and take that releases the rear frame itself, the rear trailing arm. The problem is not being on a proper bike lift, because everything's just grovelling around on the floor here. It just doesn't make life the easiest. So that's that one I've done. And they're different size nuts and bolts, spanners. 17mm this size and 15mm this size. This side. Interesting. Take the weight if you feel, yeah, just wiggle it off there, that's that. That goes loose there. And then you work around all the different linkages to get them all off. There's no point in filming it all. It's fairly obvious when you come to do it. Handy tip at this stage, when you're taking that first linkage off, lift the rear of the swing arm off and hold it up with a cinch strap or something to keep the weight off the back end there and give you access underneath the front there. In there. So that frees up the swing arm now, all the linkages are off. So I've got it supported at the back here by a cinch strap. I'm going to start on the right hand side where the nut is, and that is different size to the left. So I'm going to look down there to see if it turns, and at the moment it's not, so the nut's coming loose without the need of holding the left, which is a good sign for me. Now it's turning, so now I can get that in there and hold it. So next I'm just going to tap on the end this side, carefully, not to damage the thread. Bolt out of there. Careful with that thread on the end. Okay, it's now coming out by hand. And in case of holding up the front there. And then take the cinch stuff off because it's being held up against the shock absorber. That will allow me to get access to my linkages underneath. With this arm, in theory now, apart from this strap, will come out. And here we go. Take the strap away. That's the swing arm off. So here's the swing arm on the bench. And my most concern is this underneath. This rubbing strip here when the chain goes. You can see it's pretty well gouged and it's getting quite thin there. But to me that says that's worth changing. Now thinking with hindsight, it'd be easy to say I should have ordered that when I ordered the chain and sprockets. And I would in the future, I'll just change it all at the same time. So let's have a look at these bearings. I've just checked the how many kilometers the bike's run. And about 10,000 I did these. They were never done before that. So look at this. What have we got here? That's the pinion. The pin. Whatever it's called. You know me and technical names. I'm really good at them. Corrosion's got in here past this seal. And that's on the inside. Even though it was fully tightened up. But there's still grease here protecting that. You can see there's grease there. It's probably a good sign. Look at this one. Not so easy to push out. Might have to get a tapping tool for that one. By the way, you can see here, this is where the chain guide goes. See where the chain's actually been running through started to cut into the frame. So, and this is just where the plastic rubs. But obviously, when you change the chain and sprockets, I'd highly recommend when you order them, order one of these as well, looking at that. As I said, 26,385 kilometers. This is a bit tight. Let's give it a push. Not a very big bench, this. I'll have to work harder with that one. Give it a tap. So this one is not a good sign. That's completely covered in corrosion here, even though there was a lot of grease put inside there. So let's have a look at the bearing itself. Well, it's very dry. So I would suggest that this needs replacing, and if I'm going to do that, then I need to replace the other side as well. Well, I've just been hammering and battering for a few minutes here, getting a sweat on. One side came out pretty easily actually. It's the wider side of the trailing arm there. This side's just the badly corroded one, and it's been quite a hammering job. In the end I had to revert to a socket which just fits inside, and a good lump metal hammer. Be careful of your eyes in case bits fragment off. Maybe best to wear glasses. And then I've got this old chisel. This is something my dad made. It's a ground down file. Really tough as nails, and you can use that for trimming stuff and scraping stuff and filing stuff. Amazing. Thank you, Dad. Good Lord, rest in peace. Yeah, so this one's nearly out now. Just one side to tap out with that, and then I'll show you the bearings. So on one side, the bearings are running fine. They're loose. All the rollers are still in there. That was good, but there's a bit of play in that. I wouldn't put it back in now anyway. And this side is just like, listen to that, grated up, sticking and rusty. Terrible, c'est terrible. So, and the pins, well, they'll just clean up, and they'll be fine. So new bearings, new seals, on order as soon as possible. And now we have to do these other parts, which at the moment are looking pretty good. Push all the pins out and just look inside and then feel for grease and feel for movement, and they're rolling. It's all looking good in there, look. So I'm just going to cram more grease in there, put the pins back in. I've got to do it to all of them, and then this one as well. And if I find any issues, I'll let you know. So I'm using this lithium grease, and it's made for bearings, as you can see. That's it, just shove it as much in as you can get in by finger. So what I'm doing, just get it on the little finger, because I can't get any other one in there, and just push it in and roll it round and round inside that bearing, and just keep going until it's like starting to overflow. You'd be surprised, well I certainly was, just how much grease I've put inside these things. I've already done this one. Now this is the second one, and I would say that's enough now, because it's like you can't get any more in, it's coming out. And then you push your pin back in, and that should last a few thousand more kilometers now, hopefully. All these pins are different sizes, and it just does that. Bearing greased. One more to do, and then the other link. I'm actually going to look at the subframe itself, looking for corrosion, and the worst part is here. There's a couple of slight areas, but they're very, very minor, and this I would say is just surface corrosion. I'm looking inside the gap, the space here, and looking inside, it's obviously covered in dirt, but the surface looks pretty smooth, as opposed to like this, as opposed to rust, lumpy corrosion. So I'm not overly concerned about the corrosion levels. It's this side is the worst. So what I'm going to do is touch it up with a bit of rust paint, and leave it at that. Now just look at these bearings I took out. I mean, one side they're perfectly fine. The rollers are still good, and it moves easily, still lubed. This other side, it's stiff and corroded inside. And that to me doesn't say that's a problem with the bearing. It says there's a problem with the seal letting water in, which is very disappointing, because the bearings are actually still good, but I'm not going to use them again. I've ordered brand new ones anyway. So next I'm going to clean out any corrosion from inside, subframe here, the bearing housings, a bit of emery cloth. I mean, I've already done it before, and I'm just doing this as a demonstration. Make sure that's nice and free, and then get a cloth. Clean all that dust away, because the next thing to do is fit the bearings. And there was quite a job getting them out, quite a tapping job. So we'll see how easy these go in. I've had them in the freezer overnight. That's a worthwhile thing to do. Now I have ordered genuine Voge parts again, because I'm not disappointed in the quality of the bearings at all. But I'm not taking these out of the packet yet. So first thing I'm going to do is lube the inside with grease before I fit them. I'll probably do it again when they're in there. Put as much grease as possible, and brand new seals. Genuine Voge parts. So let's see how we get on with these. Tapping them in. Get the grease in there. Just roll it round and round and round. Just keep doing that till you can't get any more in. So let's go with this one. Feels quite, it's loose in there. I believe it, actually bloody loose in there. Now On this side it's tighter. I did think of tapping the other bearing all the way through from that side, but it was pretty tight, so I decided to put one in from this side. I got so far and I can't get the hammer in, so now I'm using the extension on the socket from here. This is good to know, because I've left this a while now and finding that the bearings, as they're warming up, because they were in the freezer overnight, are starting to just be a little bit, they're expanding slightly, so they're not sliding in so easily. So give it a bit more time and they should be the normal temperature and stay where they should be. It's reassuring. So that's them both in, and the inner bush goes in and out, but once the seals are on the bush, they open up slightly, and that obviously going to cause the sealing effect, one hopes. Anyway, before I fit all that back in, I'm going to just re-grease inside there as much as possible before I fit the other side. On these seals as well, I'm filling every groove I can with grease everywhere as much as possible. Just get grease everywhere. So here's your trailing arm mounting bolt. Look at the state of that. How much of it is actually corrosion. A lot of that is just actual dirt. And then that's greasy there, attracted dirt. So it's not actually that bad. So I shall just give it a good clean and put it back, just cover it in grease to protect it. Because the water does get in there, doesn't it? And these are okay. The other linkage bolts. This one's obviously got there's a chrome or is it whatever on there. It's coming away. But Jan put plenty of grease on. And this one's just not too bad at all. Well, I've got this off. I did it just in time, I believe, the swing arm, because here's the rubbing strip for the chain. Here's the old one. Look how badly that is gouged. It's even gone right through and started to wear into the swing arm. The other side, these grooves here, and this is a new one. See the difference? So, just in time to replace that. Should have done it earlier. And while you're doing that, I'm going to replace this rear block here. I've taken the bolt out already, because there's the inside and there's the new one. So this should last another 20,000 kilometers hopefully. And now I've ordered all these parts and they're here. I'm ready to fit it back again. I've just had a look at this, which I should have done before. And this is worn away as well, which is the complete bracket. It's really all had a good gouging with the chain. So this is all replaceable, which means the whole two sides of the bracket and this block underneath, and maybe that'll be all right, just a bracket, but it'll do for a while. So that's it, all ready to go back on. All bearings greased, everything cleaned up, some anti-corrosion paint touched up on the areas where the worst for corrosion was. Yeah, all ready to go back on. It's actually just a reverse of the taking off procedure. And these parts, although it looks complicated, they'll only go in certain ways, and it becomes self-evident when it goes on. The bolts are a certain length. Sometimes they'll only go in from one side, not the other. Then you just have to fiddle about with it. But it's straightforward once you get to it. So that's a swing arm bolt tight, and there's no lateral play in that. I've just put this link on here, and there is some sideways movement, but it doesn't, that's the only movement there is. So there's a bit of play there. So now we've got this link on the bottom of the shock here, and there is movement, sideways movement in there, but no other slight play there. And now we're connected to this bolt, so this link is in here. There's only one left now. It's to connect this to your swing arm. And you can see there's a gap here. So it's not all exactly the best tolerance. We'll see what it's like when it's all back together. So that's it, the swing arm's back on. And long may it stay there. All that play is all taken up now, it's all bolted together. Well, you can still see but there is a bush here. It's not the bolt, that's a bush. So it's all got bearings in it and they're all greased up. What I am concerned about is this. This bush here, when I fitted it, was flush at the end of the swing arm there. But now it's sticking out. When it's bolted it together, it's actually pushed it out, and your seal's in there. So that isn't pushing into the seal. And there's nothing you can do about that. It's as tight as it can go. And you couldn't squeeze that frame in any more than that to close that up. So we'll just have to trust them. And the other bearings came out and they were still okay. So we'll just hope it's okay. The torque setting for the swing arm bolt is 75 Newton meters. So as you've just seen, there's interesting tolerances, variable tolerances I'd call it. And some, I'd say, not quite perfect quality issues. I didn't know what to expect. People say this is a cheap Chinese bike and all that. But in many ways, this is a darn good bike. I mean, it all works. That's what surprises me. All those gaps and spaces on the suspension, when it's all back together, it works. Something must be right, surely. Anyway, I hope this was helpful to you. If you're thinking of doing it yourself, or be interested to know how yours has gone. But if you got one of these and you haven't stripped that rear suspension off yet and greased all the bearings, I highly recommend you do so as soon as possible. Anyway, thank you for watching, and may you all live long and ride on.